All right, here we are. There's already a comment. We're going to win so much that you'll say, Donald, please, no more. Yeah. Based on who he picked as the border guy, already winning. Of course, it depends on whether or not Mitch McConnell and the rest of the traitors in the neocon establishment party can try to, sabotage everything he tries to do, because, that's something they would do. Now I got that song stuck in my head. I like the way you kiss me. I can tell you miss me. I can tell you. To be romantic, I'll hit it from the back just so you don't get attached. No, I'll turn you on. All right. So I am way early. Yeah, about an hour early. Look at that. Well, just got a message on my phone, but I'm not going to go look at it because it's too far away. I think I might work on this Doomavac. But, yep, straight winning. And I mean, of course, all the memes and all the crazy ladies shaving their hair, which to me is hilarious, because it's like, I can't imagine anyone wanting to have sex with these girls anyway. And I know that's kind of mean to say, but it's like, if you're going to threaten to withhold sex and shave your head and shit, I mean, you kind of got to be the kind of woman that a man actually might want to have sex with. Because otherwise, you're not actually accomplishing anything, And that's how I feel about it, because I've yet to see one of them shaving their, hey, George, I've yet to see one of these people shaving their head or anything that I'd be like, yeah, I'd hit that. You know what I mean? They're all like, just, bleh, just like, really? Who do you think you're punishing, You're not punishing anybody. Freaking themselves. I mean, since they're marking themselves, that's good though, because you know who not to be near, or unless you're just trolling them, right? You know not to bother with them, because they're obviously deeply insane. Right. They're telling on themselves and they don't even know, because they're all like, they're going to take away sex, which means in their own minds, the only thing of worth that they provide to a woman or to their man is sex. Hey, James Lowry, how again? Greetings. I mean, right? Because they could withhold, I don't know, nagging, cooking, cleaning. Women do a lot of things. There's so much stuff they could have withheld, but they withheld the sex because they themselves view themselves as basically just a hole that some man can stick something in. They don't even have any self-respect for themselves. What is the Viking ship in the background? Silly Pulsar. That's a Viking ship. And I may use it for games of Orthodoxy. Wow, how'd that happen? No, I may use it for games of Oathmark, because there's rules in Oathmark where you can actually like have amphibious landings and stuff. Or I'll use it in role-playing games like Baptism of Fire, which is set in the 9th or 10th century in around the Baltic area. I mean, right now it's full of my Spartan army, so. But yeah, my One Ring Lord of the Rings RPG game fell through last night, unfortunately, because half the players were sick. And ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah, he's doing his best to avoid the neocons, which is what he needs to do. Because even though Mitch McConnell is from my beautiful, beloved home Commonwealth, that guy is the worst. He is absolutely, like, I despise him more than I do pretty much any Democrat, because he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know what I mean? He claims to be a Republican, but he's not. He's not a Republican or a conservative or libertarian, or just, I'd settle for anything. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, Pulsar. It was the whole, first off, by saying they're going to withhold sex, they're basically admitting that their only use is sex. And secondly, it's a bunch of broads that nobody would want to have sex with anyway. So it's not really a super sacrifice for them, because I guarantee you, unless they're like getting railed out by desperate dudes at the bar, you know, on a Saturday night, they're probably not the chicks that are in high demand, right? And that's probably why that one issue is so important to them. You know, like they kill way more about being able to kill their unborn child than they do about food or gas or, you know, anything that like the sane humans in America was worried about. And because they're probably so used to going out and meeting some rando somewhere and basically being used like a freaking fleshlight and then chucked away. So they gotta have their right to abortion. Otherwise, you know, they might actually have to deal with the consequences of their stupidity. That's pretty much how I would sum it up, you know. I mean, I can say definitively, I've been married a very long time. I've never ever wore protection because I've always been like, you know, if it happens, it happens. And if it happens, I'll just be a father. That's all. What's up, B? B, you got a good name, man. They're like, what up, B? That's how I always, I mean, like back in the 80s, I got married like in 91, 92. Never used condoms, had a couple kids. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got really professional at the pullout game, but you know, uh, it's like I'm in a monogamous relationship with this woman. You know, if you're willing to marry them, you should be willing to have children with them, right? I mean, otherwise, why would you marry them? I mean, if you're not going to raise a family, TMI, never TMI, bro, never TMI. But if you're, I mean, the whole point of getting married is to possibly raise a family. Because if I like these anti-fetalists, they're like, we're a married couple and we're never having children. And I'm sitting here thinking, bro, you would be way happier if you didn't marry that chick and just got a really good male friend that you could hang out with all the time. You'd be so much more happy, you know, because that bitch is just going to piss you off on occasion. And if you ain't got kids with her, and like a common goal in life, like raising kids and grandkids and whatever, eventually you're just going to get really annoyed with the decision you made, right? But if you find a best friend that's single like you are, that you guys can just, like almost every day after work, get together and hang out and go play golf and, shoot and shit like that, you're made. You're made. Yeah, you just do the best you can be. You just do the best you can in that regard. I don't disagree at all, and I have been happily married for a very long time, a few decades, right? And I don't understand. What don't you understand, bro? If I can explain it, I will. What about STDs? Dude, STDs run rampant. This like first off, if you marry a woman and she's got STDs, you effed up. You need to vet your women a little bit better than that. You know what I'm saying? Secondly, yeah, the primary purpose is to pair up and reproduce and support one another and raise the next generation, so that after you die, at least for a couple of generations, there'll be somebody to remember you. That's kind of it. That's kind of the purpose of life. That, and also serving God. So yeah, if you don't want kids, why would you marry a woman? B's first message: never used condoms. Oh, okay, I get it. Not when I was married. No, never. And also, I mean, I'll be straight with you guys. I started way late. I was like, yeah, you know how some guys are like, I got laid when I was 14. Not me, dude. I was, because I was an ugly duckling. As a young kid, I was the greasy, nerdy, pimply faced, 130-pound, geek that everyone wanted to F with, that was playing AD&D, etc. You know what I mean? You can't get along with any woman. Is that the one? Yeah, I'm talking about marriage, man. I'm talking about marriage, not randos. Ugh. Yuck, man. Yeah, happy Monday. Beginning of the week, we're all hanging out. We can talk about whatever we want. Oh, yeah, it is. Here's the thing, B. The only people who understand women are women, and they hate each other. So don't even try to understand them. I mean, that's a joke I heard once, but hey, the best jokes have a kernel of truth in them. So, but oh yeah, I'm a strong proponent. When I was single, I had my best friend Marcus, who passed away, unfortunately. And I was not lonely at all. Me and him were going out to the pub, kicking back some Guinnesses. Women are great. Yeah, the joke is a man should never try to understand a woman, because only women understand each other and they hate each other, which a lot of women do, in fact, hate each other. It's weird. You get some women together, they get real catty. But, whatever. I mean, but women are great. I'm not trying to talk anybody into like being. I've never had a woman friend, B. I've never had a woman friend. I know people talk about it, but I've never had one. And I'll tell you why. Because every woman I ever thought I could be friends with, I ended up dating. You know what I mean? And I never really did the one night stand, sleeping around stuff. I was from the age I started dating, which was late. I was in the Army. I was always just naturally monogamous. I don't know why, but I'm just, so I would meet, say, some girl at a vampire LARP, and I'd think she was cool, and we would hang out and just be friends. And then sooner or later, I'm banging her and we're dating and, whatever. So, yeah. And that happened quite a few times. So, oh, yeah. And that's what always happened. It's like I would think we were friends and we would do friend stuff for like, I don't know, a couple weeks or a month. And then at some point, I'd be at her apartment and boom, next thing you know, we're slobbering on each other, rolling around on the couch. And it happened every time. So, but you have to remember that was also in the 90s after I went through the ugly duckling phase. I got out of the army and I was all like, I would have graded myself an 8 out of 10. I was definitely a Chad, because I'm already pretty tall and I was ripped. Freaking, I had my labret piercing. I was a bad boy. So, like, all the goth chicks were, all about it. You know what I mean? Back when goth was goth. Well, you're cute now. That's what my mom says. So, thank you very much. Now, can a woman be friends with a man? I think they can. Maybe. I don't know. The ones you really got to watch are the single women that want to be friends with your wife, because they will do everything they can to try to convince your wife to leave you because they're miserable and they want everyone else to be miserable. But yeah, a long time ago, my hair was black and I wore it like a goatee and I had that piercing right there. And I was doing the whole vampire LARP thing. And here in Orlando, the vampire LARP had like 100+ people involved. I mean, it was huge. Or to quote our president, it was huge. It was the best LARP ever, maybe to ever exist in the whole world. That's what people say. People say it was the best, and it we're going to make it even better. But so, and also what was crazy is like in the 80s and 90s, it was like the vast majority of role players were dudes. I mean, like the vast majority was dudes, right? And then Vampire the Masquerade hit, and then Vampire the LARP came out. And it was like all women. It was crazy. You'd show up to like a vampire game and it'd be all chicks. And it was just like, all right, and then you show up at the LARP game and there's like 100 players there and 70 of them are chicks, and like the vast majority of them are single. So, I mean, yeah, I did that for a few years, a few years. Make it the 80s again. I would love that. The 80s where you had Prince and freaking The Cure and Pink Floyd. I mean, you just had everyone in the 80s, and people could dress as weird as they wanted, and no one. There were a lot of those type of people there, but even though back then I was not religious at all, really. But I've always been I'm not going to ask, and I honestly would prefer you not tell me. If I see you kissing someone like your boyfriend or girlfriend, I'll be like, okay, all right, I get it, and I'll go on with my life, and you go on with your life because uh, yeah, I'm a straight dude, and I'm saying if I see a gay couple making out or something at the vampire game back in the 90s, I'd just be like, okay, and then go on my way. because it's, in my opinion, it's not my business, and I don't want to be involved, and I still believe that. I think, yeah, not your echo. There's something about the social politicking and the whole vampire mystique. And of course, this was back when Anne Rice books were starting to get real popular, that just drew in all of the vampire chicks, and it was, I mean, like the Typo Negative song, Black Number One. I mean, that's what he's basically singing about. Is like most of the chicks had their hair painted like that wine red color, or Black Number One. I mean, that was like almost every female, with the occasional super platinum blonde thrown in. Uh, and of course they were always wearing black and fishnet stockings and, gothy, sleeves and all that. They were doing the early to mid 90s goth thing. Hanging out, smoking clove cigarettes, and listening to Sisters of Mercy, right? So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I had a weakness for that for a long time. I mean, one, I loved the game. I'm not gonna lie. I am a gamer. I love the game. I would show up to play the game. But if I happen to run into an attractive gothy girl that wanted to hang out, that was good too. I mean, bonus, right? Sexier than an orc, yeah. Or we call that one. I was going to say, is this how you pick all your games? No. The current game I'm running is the One Ring, which is the Free League Lord of the Rings game. And it's a very, very Tolkien game. So pretty much Roman Catholic. Hey, happy Veterans Day back at you, bro. May those caissons keep rolling along, because I think that was the Army song when I was in. Over hill and the caissons go rolling along. Yep. Got some veterans in the crowd. Unscripted is definitely a veteran. I myself served. I'm sure Shark will show up soon. He was a Marine. I mean, this channel tends to be a lot of older guys and a lot of veterans. But my number 2 demographic for people watching are Russians. So it's America, Russia, and then Canada. Hey, we're just talking about Happy Veterans Day, and Jeff pops in, the resident jumping out perfectly good airplanes guy. I get a lot of Russians. But anyway, what are we talking about? One, the new border czar, I like him. Well, I think it's because I speak a little Russian, and I'm Russian Orthodox. So a lot of Russians watch the channel. Every now and then a couple of them will show up, and their names will be in Cyrillic, and they'll type in, Privyet and all that. And I'll say I only speak curse words, really. But so, and the Army goes rolling along now. Yeah, they changed it. That's true. I'll tell you what, I had a dream the other night, because we were talking about Army uniforms and how they suck. Not the combat ones, but dress uniforms. And I was like, what would be really cool? If the Army dress uniform was like the 1860s or 70s Union blue uniform. You know what I mean? If that was the dress uniform, that would look sharp as hell. The baby blue pants and the dark blue shell coat, and then the hat, I mean, and plus it'd be like so historical, it'd just be amazing. I learned to read Cyrillic last year, just the characters. Not an easy language. I know when I was learning to read Hebrew, that was a bitch. Especially if you try to read anything that's really old where they don't have the marks for what's a vowel or not. Jeez. You just got to try and figure it out. But how many languages do I know? Barely one. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. Barely one. I was born and raised in Eastern Kentucky, so I speak Appalachian. And thanks to a lot of hard work on my part, I speak relatively decent American English. And then I can say a bunch of curse words in Russian. And I can almost carry on a conversation a little bit in German, but not really. But I did spend time in Germany, so like I can order beer and ask stuff like where's the bathroom and stuff like that. And then I know a little bit of Spanish from when I've worked as a firefighter, because where I live now in Orlando, a lot of our patients were Hispanic and didn't speak English. So you'd have to be like Donde Estelar, or Dalar es Corazon, which is really bad Spanish, but at least the abuela you're dealing with understands you're asking if they have pain in their heart, or whatever. Sometimes you just can't communicate with a patient, so you just treat them like you would if they were unconscious. I mean, you're still going to do the same stuff. You're going to check the blood sugar. You're going to check the oxygen level in their blood. You're going to put a line in them. You're going to put them on some normal saline. And you're going to get a 12 lead and check the rhythm out to make sure they're not tombstoning or anything crazy like that. And you're going to get them to the hospital as fast as you possibly can. That is pretty much what it is to be a firefighter, because where I was, 99% of our calls were medical. It's like with the new building codes and stuff, nothing burns down. Nothing burns down, A fire kicks off, alarms go off, we're there within 5 minutes, we put it out. We go home. You file insurance claim. I was a firefighter too. Yeah, I got out of the Army, bummed around through most of the 90s working construction jobs and playing vampire LARPs and hanging out with gothy chicks. And then in the 2000s decided I needed to straighten my ass up. So when I hit about 30, I got a job with the city in the water department. And I actually loved that job. We put in water mains. Hey, what's up, Bear? We did all the stuff, and I loved it. But then one of my best friends was like, I'm thinking about going to fire academy. And I was like, how do you even do that? And he explained it to me, and I didn't know. It was just you go and take a test, and if you pass the test, you pay money and you go through the academy, right? And hopefully pass. So I went down, and out of 400 people who took the initial exam, 50 of us made it. And then I went to the local fire department, and the chief there knew me very well from my time in the water department, because I worked on the fire hydrants, so they knew me, right? And I went in, I was like, hey, I'm going to fire academy. Is there any way you can help me out with anything? Dude gave me a full set of bunker gear, turnout gear, whatever. Some people call it turnout gear. We called it bunker gear. And he called the academy, and they knocked $350 off of the price of the academy. So it was like $750 for me to actually go through fire academy. And so I did that, and it took about a year. And then Bunker? Bunker. Bunker. We always called it bunker gear. Like a bunker that a machine gun nest would be in. But some people call it turnout gear. Yeah, see, no, that it's okay. I'm from Kentucky. I barely speak American English. So if you're from somewhere and you're not used to, I mean, America, we've got 100 accents here. So I think actually more like 12, but so anyway, went through, got my EMT, fire 1, fire 2, started on the job, and low paying job, $11.45 an hour. You're from Appalachia too. Look at you, bro. I'm from Eastern Kentucky, Harlan County, or Harlan City. Represent Harlan County. Yeah, coal country. Even though my mom lives closer to London. So yeah. And I have like 30 acres up there on a mountainside that I need to re-upload the videos. I've got videos of me climbing up my mountainside. I let my cousins use it to deer hunt. They get quite a few whitetail out of there every year, so mostly legal, I assume, but you never know. You never know. Bear, I put the link in. Anyway, so after I was a firefighter for a little while, I went to paramedic school. Paramedic school is a year long and very, very difficult. Like half of the people who go to paramedic school will fail out, because especially like the hardest class was figuring out how to do doses for medications, because you have to estimate in kilos, which Americans, we hate metric. So it's like, you have to figure out in kilos how much a patient weighs, and then figure out the drug you want to give them, how much milligrams they should have per kilo, and do all this freaking math. And you got to do it in your head while you're in the back of an ambulance whipping 75 miles an hour down the turnpike. Your mic's off, Bear.
I said it's crazy how base 10 math is hard for Americans.
I know. I would probably have aced that class if it was like, if there are 53 bananas, you give them two crickets. I'd have been like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But you are right. In the end, it turns into 200 pounds. They get 20 milligrams. You know what I mean? Or some shit like that,
It's straight up crazy. Like, I will never...
They taught us alchemy too, though. We had to figure out like English, like grams and grains, and because apparently some medications are still given in like old English, freaking alchemical stuff. It's like, wow. But yeah, we hate the metric system. And I don't know why, but I agree with hating it. The only time we use the matrix system is
you're buying drugs,
or we're buying ammo.
Yeah, it's crazy. You guys are all about it then, but
yep, we know what a 9mm is. We know what 7.62mm is, but don't go asking us to use kilometers, because plus it'd just be so expensive. That's why we never did it.
So can I tell you a funny story from when I worked in radio?
Sure, of course.
So I remember I was doing traffic and weather at the news stations where I was working, and I would say kilometers on the air. And then one day my program director came to me, and he's also the news director, and he said, "Hey, can you say kilometers, please?" I said, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I really want you to say kilometers and not kilometers." And I'm like, "Okay." So I started saying kilometers. And then one day we had to do a read about a thing for checking your odometer.
Odometer?
But I said odometer.
An odometer.
And he comes to see me. He's like, "What the fuck is odometer?" I went, "Well, it's about as accurate as kilometer. So, which would you like me to do, odometer or kilometer?" He's like, "Fine, say fucking kilometer." I'm like, "Okay, thanks."
Yeah. Or if you want to just do it the Army way, you just say clicks.
No, you can't do that. I'm talking to civilians on the radio that are listening in their cars, housewives.
You're just like 5 clicks down that way.
They
Oh,
don't
these
understand
were
that.
buy one, get one free the other day at the grocery store. This kefir, and it's
What is
strawberry
that?
banana flavored. Oh my God, it's so good.
How much sugar is in that?
Probably a ton. Total sugar, 18 grams.
It's not bad.
And it's full of basically, this is just yogurt you can drink.
Yeah.
It's cultured milk. I mean, it's a Russian thing. Actually, it's just Eastern Europe, the Turks, everybody drinks this shit. One click.
Happy. What day is it for you guys? It's Armistice Day. No, that's in the UK.
Veterans Day.
Your Veterans Day. We're Remembrance Day in Canada, but
I think England does Armistice Day.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but New Zealand, Canada, and Australia do Remembrance Day. Now, do you guys do the moment of silence at 11:11?
I have never heard of that.
So,
usually we just say, "Hey, man, Happy Veterans Day," and if the other guy's a veteran, he's like, "Thanks, Happy Veterans Day to you too, bro." And then
what they do to us
out and go on about your way,
So what we do in Canada is we have to stop everything at 11:11 a.m. and do nothing because that's representation of the last shot fired in the Great War. Because apparently it was at 11:11 on the day of the.
And you guys lost a lot of boys in that one, if I remember my World War
Canada, we lost a lot. Look up Vimy Ridge.
Yeah.
Vimy Ridge was the one that no one could take until the Canadians decided we were taking it. And boy, we paid for it, but we took it. Even the French.
America got in pretty late on that.
Yeah.
We came in pretty late.
I mean, when you guys drop, 100,000 troops on the European continent, everybody else starts going, maybe we could find a way to negotiate peace because the 100,000 American troops just showed up, Yeah. It's a different beast.
I know metric tools too. I know that like 9mm is like a 1/4 inch. So, if you're looking around, but it's so funny too, because in the Army, they train you metric. And then as soon as you get out to your regular duty station, you start using yards. You know what I mean? But not if you're calling in artillery, you got to use proper grid coordinates and shit. But if you're talking to your buddy, you're like, yeah, it looks like something's moving about 200 yards away. And they, of course, know because they know that's 2 football fields. Because that's how Americans think. Hey, 2 football fields away, there's some movement in that tree line. You know what I mean? And the other guy's immediately going to get it because he can imagine it in his head. If he's ever played American football. What is up, guys? We got O'Neill Flynn. We got the Crafting Gamer. Hello, Patrick. How you doing, brother? Wow, he's got his cross too. My brother in Christ. Going to get going. Take care. Happy. Oh, yeah. Thanks for dropping in, B. And I like the name B because it makes me feel like we're being gangsta and shit. Like you're taking off and I'm all like, catch you later, B. Death cards here. Oh my goodness. We're getting all the good guys are showing up. But
people will join us on the panel.
Who knows? But I mean, you're entertaining enough, though.
Oh well, thank you.
But yeah, I working on my Pechnegs. Going to get them done someday.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And furthermore, I have no interest in knowing what you're talking about. Just so we're clear.
Pechneg were a tribe of steppe warriors that lived.
I know what the Pechnegs were, and I know you're talking about miniatures. I'm being facetious.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm just telling you who they were. They were real people.
I know they were a real
They were assholes too.
Yes, they were. It's amazing how everybody from the steps were kind of cunts.
Yeah, right. I'm donating plasma, so no panel for me. LOL. Hey, nice. Good for you. Yeah, it's been many years since I donated blood, but I used to, like, the whole time I was in the fire department, we kind of had a thing where our lieutenant would strongly suggest on your day off going to the red bus. So it was like you got voluntold to go donate some blood.
Yeah.
And so you just did it because it was like whatever, and they gave you orange juice and a cookie. It was like, all right. But I'll tell you what, they come at you with that 10-gauge needle, man. You can see through that needle.
Oh, it's
like
not
if they hold it right, you can see through it. Like it's big.
just fucking people are such pussies about needles. I swear to God. I've seen grown-ass men that I've watched throw down in a fucking full-on Donnybrook. And then they got to go get a fucking booster shot. And they're like, it's like, oh, fucking grow up. It hurts for a second and then it's over.
You said Donnybrook. What are you?
Yeah.
Fucking Newfie?
I'm a fucking Canadian, sir. And we have Donnybrooks in Canada, sir.
Like, when did you start talking Newfie?
I'm a maritimer, you dumbass. I just live in Quebec. I'm from the same place Condor DM is from.
Get out of here, really?
And Draven Swiftbow.
I don't think I know Draven Swiftbow.
Well, he's got a pretty good, decent little channel.
I'd probably like him. I pretty much like almost every Canadian I've ever met. They're easy people to like.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not the needle making it sting. That's the steroids making it sting, Mr. Anderson and Derpson.
Thanks for the music. I made the cut drive better. I listened last night, but was busy putting weather stripping on all the doors and windows. Well, that's important.
Yeah.
And we got Six Nations, ladies and gerbils. Yeah. Don't say
Two
that.
of Richard Gere's favorite things.
Yeah, we'll have what's his name showing up. Hey, there's Diversity and Dragons. Hello. Double D. Nice of you to drop in. Patrick Baines. Okay, easy to like is the last thing I'd say about Mr. Trudeau. I'm sure, like, if you meet him in person and you were sitting down having tea, he would probably be a charismatic gentleman.
Everybody I know who's met him, including a buddy of mine who worked for a Canadian senator, so he spent about 6 months before he was prime minister dealing with Trudeau as just a Liberal member, said he was one of the most charming human beings he ever met. He hates him now, but he said at the time, he goes, the guy was super charming. Of
course. I mean, that's how he keeps getting elected. You
well,
don't keep getting elected and shit by being
So, okay, you know how you guys can't have a female president because they keep running unlikable cunts? No, because they keep running unlikable cunts.
Right,
well,
right.
All through Trudeau's little first runarounds, the Conservatives could not find a likable candidate to put up as the leader of the party. Now they've got one. Trudeau's in trouble.
Okay.
That's all.
I predict, and I'll probably die before this happens, who knows, that the first female president of the United States will be a Republican.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. Because it would call a lot of those lefties on their sort of, a woman, we need to have a woman. Well, here's a woman. You know what I mean? Yeah, but she's a self-hating one. No, you're just being a bitch now. Stop being a bitch.
Yeah,
Tulsi or
someone like Tulsi,
I want Tulsi to be president for 3 reasons. 1, the Americans get to walk around bragging about having the biggest economy in the world. 2, the Americans get to walk around bragging about having the biggest military in the world. And 3, the Americans get to walk around the world bragging about how y'all want to fuck the president. That would be amazing. Just watching that fucking power play would be great. But you'll never.
Did you see the Bill Burr monologue on SNL?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it. You could tell it was censored from the last time, but still.
Right. But he was talking about ladies. What's with the pantsuit?
Yeah, maybe give the pantsuit a rest.
Yeah, give the pantsuit a rest. Wear something that'll make a
stand up. I mean, look, I'm not asking you to sleep with him, but at least give that farmer the hope that he might have a chance with you.
Yeah, like You guys are just going about it all wrong. And that's the thing. I think some conservative Republican woman is going to come out of nowhere and be hot and have some policies and get elected.
You know who scares the living shit out of me right now?
Oh, God. I don't know.
J.D. Vance or G.D. Vance or whatever the fuck his name is.
Vance?
J.D. Vance. Only because
he's born
he
like
feels,
30
he feels
miles
like
from where I
Sam Neill in the fucking Omen 3. You know what I mean? He's like so charismatic and so politic and so well dressed. It's like, someone check the back of his head for the mark of the beast, please.
My favorite thing is when he says something and then he stops and gives you that sideways smile.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
He's just like clowning on you, you know. But that dude was born like 30 minutes from where I was born.
Yeah, well, did any fucking blackbirds fall dead from the branches on those days? I'm telling you, man. I think that guy's the Antichrist.
He's younger than me. He's a young man. A hillbilly converted to Catholicism and married a Hindu Indian woman who I suppose probably converted to Catholicism and had a bunch of kids. So no one can say that J.D. Vance is racist. It's like he's literally married to a Indian woman.
No. When I was with my ex, who was Indian, and we were together for 9 years, I literally had white women telling me that I was colonizing her. Literally, the word they used, James, was colonizing her.
Well, it depends. Like, did she ever dress up in a sari and ask you to dress up like a redcoat soldier and then play some shit before you had sex? Because then it would be true.
No, sir. No,
but like
sir.
I always say, never apologize for winning. You know?
No, that never happened. No. But I was just funny. I'm just like, what? Colonizing her? Really? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
It's like, we're not supposed to be racist, but we're also not supposed to share the same spaces or date or like the same thing. It's like
Bear's lying about the dress. Where the fuck do you think I'm gonna find a red coat costume in a 5X, man? Come on.
I'm sure they got one. It's really wild. And oh man, I've never understood. My wife and I was talking about this, Deckard, how all these white women seem to have a special ingrained hate specifically for straight white men. And I'm like, whatever it is you're hating us for, you were there with us when we were doing it.
Oh no, that's Bill Burr's previous monologue when he said that whole thing. Sit down, take your talking to.
Right, and he's not wrong. It's like, if you hate us for racism, you were right there with us. Yeah. You weren't out there talking about freeing the slaves. You were wearing your pretty cotton dress and running around to the ball.
Wearing your blood diamond necklace, you know.
Yeah. So it's like everything they want to hold us responsible for, they were the ultimate beneficiaries. and yet they act weird. But yeah, and the 4B movement's destined to fail because no one wants to have sex with those chicks anyway.
Seriously. Like, how up their own asses can they be?
Like, if they're mad that they can't get abortions, being celibate is probably a cell phone. You know what I mean? Because
exactly. Instead of hail to the chief when JD gets elected president, will start playing 04 Tuna. Oh my God, jeez. Oh, jeez. Now, you want to talk about something funny? A buddy of mine, when he got married, him and his girlfriend got married in the park, and they had a string quartet there. And instead of playing the Bride's March, they played Run to the Hills.
Iron Maiden.
He came down. Yeah, it was fun. We're standing there, me and my buddy, and we're like listening. We're like, this is Run to the Hills.
I haven't been hugged by anyone other than family in my whole life. What do they think 4B is going to do to me? Nothing. Because you're going to get a hobby, devote yourself to your job or whatever, and take care of yourself.
And hey, according to them, sex work is real work.
You'll be fine.
And they say sex work is real work. So if you ever have to bust a nut, they fully back your ability to go legally purchase sex. There you go.
And if we ever meet, I'll give you a hug, bro. And I don't even like hugging.
I won't, but I will give you a healthy fist bump.
Yeah. See.
I'm not a touchy guy. I don't like being touched.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Anderson. It's like they're owning themselves and they don't know it. And then the other thing that's going on, which is of maybe interest to Bear, is all the TikTokers posting videos of themselves crossing into Canada with their brand new passports and applying for citizenship. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is awesome because next election, whoever we pick is going to win in a landslide because they're just leaving.
No, because the minute Polyev wins here, they're going to be running home like babies.
It's like, first up, you're not reproducing, and secondly, you're leaving the country. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the next election is going to be a walk in the park.
Oh, wow.
But
they're more than welcome to apply for citizenship. Doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, logic. Don't expect it from some people. They're all.
I was thinking that episode of Star Trek, right? Mud's Women. Logic is a pretty wreath of flowers which smells bad. Logic is a bird tweeting in a meadow. Like, it's just like, yeah, exactly. That's all. Logic is lost on this fucking world.
Yeah. Separating themselves from the gene pool. Yeah, it's just going to be a win-win for everybody involved. It's like, okay. Meanwhile, the Amish are having 12 kids apiece and apparently loaded their little horse wagons up with their little Trump flags and went out and voted massively in Lancaster County. So, and they almost never vote, but this year they were out voting. So,
well, they kind of got fucked by way too many, Democratic governors, right?
Yeah, because they're always trying to pass all these regulations on how they use their land and shit.
Yeah, and how they produce their food and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, man, leave
it's
the
like
fucking
if you
Amish
sell whole
alone.
milk, you go to jail.
Yeah, leave the fucking Amish alone.
Yeah, shave your head and disown your family for the cause. Yeah, that's some cult shit right there.
Yeah, but at least you got the excuse that Jim Jones was charismatic.
Hey, happy Veterans Day.
Charismatic in charge of the left. Hey, Bruce.
Hey, how is everybody today?
I've been seeing too much of you lately. What the fuck? Are you stalking me, man?
No, I just saw James was on and you were here. It's like I got a twofer.
Yep. I think Peanut might have swung some of New York. New York was not that many points away from flipping. And I think Peanut was a part of that.
I think Peanut was a big part of everything that happened.
Peanut and Freddie. Because even your average New Yorker, when they heard about that shit, they were all like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, and the best part is it was a fucking Insta thought who was complaining because her Insta wasn't getting as much attention as this Insta. So she's from Texas. So she complained. And then what happens? After everything goes down, she gets so much hate, she had to delete all of her accounts.
Yep. How you doing, Double D?
Good, James. How you doing? Hello, rest of the crew.
And happy Veterans Day.
Happy Vets Day, Double D.
Yeah.
You guys too.
I'm doing good. Unlike you with your white and gold super classy hat. I'm going with the Elon.
I got one of those too.
Black MAGA, baby.
Yeah. I got the red, black, and white.
But I'm a fan of Space Daddy no matter what anyone says. I hope one day he does take us to Mars. It may not be me, but somebody.
Yep.
Well, so if they don't kill him or he doesn't kill himself somehow, he will.
As long as it doesn't start like, an Event Horizon or, a Shodan moment for those of you that are into System Shock, I'm okay. I'm all right. But, man, I don't want to find out what's in the void. The warp.
He's not doing any weird shit like that. With the technology he has now, he estimates he could land people on Mars in 3 months. It's just a matter of, doing it. I mean, that dude puts more objects and everything into space than NASA.
Yeah.
NASA literally does nothing. I don't even know why they exist, and maybe they won't here in a couple months. I mean,
They
they're
serve
already
their
talking
purpose.
about getting rid of the Department of Education and
Boy, that'd be good.
moving all of these departments out of DC and just scattering them all over the US so that DC would stop being just a giant cesspool of bullshit.
I'm like, James, I already voted for the guy. I like him. You don't have to sell me on him.
Right.
Listen, I paid for the blowjob. We're good. You don't have to, you know.
I just want to say, Patrick, you are a man of culture and taste, sir.
Event Horizon is a fantastic movie, but one of the problems with Event Horizon is that all the cut material we will never get to see. Why?
They
Why
destroyed
will we
it.
never get to see it? Because they fucking stored the footage in salt mines in Romania. What the fuck? So someone hated this film enough that they were like, yeah, put it in the place where the air will degrade the canister and the film inside, please. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because what we got was heavily edited because
Heavily.
that
There's
shit was
one
going to be
VHS
hard
tape.
R.
There's one VHS tape out there somewhere of the director's cut, and that's all that's left that exists, which is a fucking crime.
like all the creepy scenes of the people cutting each other apart and having weird bloody sex orgy murder things going on.
I
got
like
cut.
this movie.
It was in the original movie, and when the studio saw that, they're like, nope.
They had the angry dolphin go off.
It's weird you hear about
What
that
you
stuff
fail to
happening to like old
understand.
silent movies, but like not one that was made in like the late 90s. It's not like it was shot on like silver nitrate stock or whatever they used back then.
What you fail to understand is that it was actually real, and they had to hide it because the Pope was implicated. It's a great conspiracy.
Oh, Jesse.
I live in the Baja now, and I was a Navy SEAL, and I invented strawberry jam. I don't know if you knew that.
I know what movie I want to watch with Bear.
What?
Abraxas.
Oh, Jesus.
Old scruff face.
No!
Every time we start doing the Jesse Ventura, I start thinking about Running Man.
This is
When
better.
he comes in with all the stuff on, he's like, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not doing it. This is bullshit. I
This
watched
is
that.
bullshit. Yeah. Like,
Oh my god.
this is a game of death and honor. And all that.
Richard
Nice.
Dawson was
Yeah.
still amazing in that fucking movie.
Yeah.
What's that? I didn't see what that was. What was that?
This
Big
is a,
Emporium coffee cup.
yeah. This will be a relic.
Well, Squirrel Hermit, I don't know, it's not as cool as I guess yours, but Squirrel Hermit sent me this, which is just a bunch of comic book panels on a cup, but the thing's massive.
Fucking
Like,
awesome.
this is a huge mug, so I use it for watering. It's great.
I love Squirrel Hermit.
Squirrel Hermit's good people.
And Squirrel Hermit's amazing people.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Been a while since I saw The Running Man. Got it. Yeah.
I watched it last week. We'd been talking about it, you and I, James, and I was like, you know what? I gotta see it. It still has my favorite, Arnold made up that line and no one had the balls to tell him no. Sub-Zero, now just plain zero. This is the worst line, man.
And then they like dap on the way out of the ice.
Yeah. It's like some of his worst lines are in that fucking movie.
When he turned the chainsaw on Buzzsaw and started cutting him, and Buzzsaw hits like that high note. Ah! Like, man, back when they made the great movies. They weren't trying to like tell you anything or spread any ideological message. Nope. It was just like somebody whipping somebody's ass for an hour.
Well, Paul Verhoeven was spreading an ideological message, and the ideological message that he was spreading was, "Holy fuck, America, you scare the rest of the world. Just so you know, we want you to know that." Because RoboCop, fucking Total Recall. A lot of his movies were just telling you, "You guys scare us a lot."
Didn't he also do Starship Troopers?
He did.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing my part. Are you? You want to learn more?
Would you like to know more?
You want to know more? Yeah, the little commercials.
The murderer was captured today and found guilty. Execution live tonight. All network channels.
You know what's sad is I was watching it and I was like, yeah, that'd work. I'd be okay with that. You know, whatever. It's all good. Run into the coolest people in this chat. Golden Demon winning X-Pot Pat Canuck Bolt Action MAGA boss. Oh man.
That sounds like one person though, because you didn't use commas like an American. So it's like I ran into a Golden Demon winning expat Canuck Bolt Action Mega Bro. It's like, who is this guy? It's like if the four of us had a transporter accident and one being was created out of it. It's just like, he's painting miniatures and shooting.
It might be the same guy.
Do you play Bolt Action, James?
I used to play Bolt Action and then I got bored of it. And
that's right. Yeah, you got rid of all your stuff, didn't you?
I got rid of most of it. I kept my Italians because I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because they're like the weakest army in the game, so I like to play them. Because sure, I
like them too
most of the time, but every now and then,
I painted mine as late war, like Italian Social Republic, like 1945.
I painted mine
like
orange with the green streaks all over them.
Mm-hmm.
So like mid-war.
It's probably
I love the little Fiat Caro mottos. I got 3 of those, and I've got a Simavanti 75.
They kind of nerfed those machine gun rules in the new edition.
Well, I mean,
so you can't take the M3 Stuart and just totally dominate the battlefield.
Right.
You used to be able to do. Or
like,
the Caro motto.
One of the happiest moments of my life is I was playing a guy who was playing American Airborne, supported by Sherman. And somehow I hit and destroyed the Sherman tank with my Caro motto.
Oh, geez.
I rode like 3 6s in a row, which I should probably have crossed myself and quit the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably had to roll that.
And it was like, I hit him, and then I had to roll for the penetration, and then I had to roll for the damage. This was first edition, and his tank was destroyed, and I was just sitting there like, this dude just got took out by a 37 millimeter gun. That is some sad business, right? And after that, I wrecked him because I was playing Italian paratroopers versus his paratroopers, and like back then, almost all of your Italian paratroopers were armed with Beretta submachine guns. So you just charge up on people and just roll a bucket full of dice at them, you know?
You were like Bard shooting that arrow into Smaug the dragon in The Hobbit with that Caro motto.
Yeah, that
was the 1 in a million shot.
Barrel. Yeah. Like it literally went down the barrel and detonated the 75 millimeter round that was in the tube. Yeah. But I do that because I guess, I don't know, I'm a masochist. I'll play a game, and if someone tells me that a particular army is like terrible, that'll be the army I make.
Yep. Yeah, we're alike in that regard. Same way.
Back when everybody's like, yeah, Imperial Guards suck. And I'm like, well, here comes the Steel Legion. I'll mount it in Chimeras and with Lehman Russ tanks. Eat it.
Yep. Same here.
And of course, I lost almost every time to Dark Eldar, but hey.
You have fun doing it.
I
love pushing all that armor around the table. I don't care if I lose. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. You throw like 6 Chimeras and 3 Lehman Russes on a table. That was back in 4th edition. Like in the edition where they made it where you could take Lehman Russ as troops. I've played a couple of games where it was like a Baneblade, a Lehman Russ commander, and 9 Lehman Russes. and like 2 Chimeras with 10-man squads. And
it's like a mama bear with all her children.
and boy, Hungar's Eldar just whipped my ass. Because he was playing Craft World Eldar with an Eldar Knight, and I had no idea how fast they were. And that thing ran up on my Baneblade and one-shot it. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, you figure out pretty quick like who the best armies are by what the best players play at like your local shop.
Yeah, like for the longest time it was the Space Marine heroes with the Knight Castellan, or maybe a pair of Knight Castellans. because you could use the Space Marines to generate command points and then burn a command point when you activate your Castilian Knight to make it be able to fire as if it were undamaged.
Okay.
So no matter how much they beat this bastard down, it was still firing at full efficiency the whole game. And I mean, it's a knight with a shit ton of guns. I mean, it can kill everything.
Yeah.
So
those are cool
and
figures.
I showed up to a
Knights.
tournament. I kid you not, like 50 players there, 40 were playing that army.
Yep.
And I was just like,
it's the meta.
yeah,
But
I mean,
what fun is that though? I mean, you play in the meta. All right. I mean, just so you win a fucking 40K tournament. I mean, I'd rather see like cool looking armies out there. Have fun playing them. Who cares if you don't? Oh, that's nice.
And you know what? Fantasy was the same way. But I always played Dark Elves and I just took my beatings, you know?
Yeah.
If I won, I won, and most of the time I lost, but I was a Dark Elf player. That's what I played. That's my painted army. I've got like 6,000 points worth of it. And hell,
I never understood those guys that just win at all costs. Like you can just tell it like it will ruin their night or make their night if they win like a game at the local shop. It's like, dude, if you need it that bad,
I went through that phase, bro.
Really? You were that guy, huh?
For many years, I was a win at all costs, sore loser asshole. And then one day, I don't know what, I think I just grew up one day, like the Grinch. I was coming down the hill, and my heart grew a couple sizes big. You know, I was just like, you know, I'm not really having fun. And the guy I'm playing with, he's not having fun either. Because I'm playing some bullshit, cheaty ass army that takes advantage of every minuscule rule. And let's be honest, man, it gets old real quick. What's up, Bear?
Bash James, I sent you a message on Discord. I would really like you to look at. You can answer it there if you want. Don't need to answer out loud. By the way, it also looks like my avatar now. I look like I'm a flag of the, you know, like I'm my own country, but I'm a colony of DM James.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, look at it. It's like having the Union Jack in the corner, you know. Hero clicks. Oy.
I got 2 complete boxes of that.
Well, as I asked, if you're willing to, let me know, and I will happily.
I am willing to. I don't know how to go about it. We'll have.
I will get an address, and then you just tell me how much, and I'll send you the money. Okay.
All right. However, man, I've got Venmo. I've got whatever. So.
Well, I'm in Canada, so I probably have to do PayPal. I don't think I have Venmo.
I think I might have PayPal still. I thought I canceled it though.
Oh well, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. If
yeah,
someone has Venmo in the States.
Hey, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll throw a cloth map in for free.
Ooh, that's very kind of you.
Yeah. I really loved that game, but like I said, the players voted and they were all like, "Let's play the One Ring."
We've got a game starting on the 25th on Monday nights.
It's a good system, and if you like Tolkien, it's a great game. So
not One Ring, no, Dragonbane.
Oh, Dragonbane's great. I love the system too. It's basically RuneQuest, but rounded to 5.
Yep, pretty much.
That's all it is.
It's a good game.
The minis are always impressive, but most tabletop rule systems leave me cold. That's why I play Hex and Counter War games. Yeah, if you're talking, I remember those old ones by GDW, like Assault, Boots and Leather. It had like Assault was the main game, but there were like 12 expansions, and each chit represented like a squad or one vehicle. So the scale was like really close in, you know, like a battalion versus a battalion. And it was one of those what if the Soviets crossed through the Fulda Gap into Germany games. Game Designer Workshop, man, they used to make great stuff, and then they killed themselves.
Did you ever play Hotel Chainsaw Massacre?
No, but I own Bloody Appalachia.
What's that about?
Bloody Appalachia.
Yeah.
It's about people going to Appalachia and being killed in horrible ways. And the base setting is Eastern Kentucky and West Virginia.
I know why you bought it. Never mind.
And you make your character, and the characters have like, you know, are you going to be Shaggy or Scooby-Doo or Fox Mold or whatever you're going to be? And then the DM decides what the monster's going to be. Is it going to be a guy wearing a pig head as a helmet, running around with a chainsaw? Is it going to be serial killers, aliens, Bigfoot, Sasquatches, cannibals, feral people, etc.?
Which game is this?
Bloody Appalachia
Interesting.
by Bloat Games.
Whatever happened to the Gods of Appalachia game?
I was just going to
I
ask
never
that.
really looked at it because it uses, I think, the Monty Cook Numenera system.
Oh, fuck that noise.
It does. It does.
I'm like,
Never mind. I'm out.
Why is everybody always? Fuck that. Blah! Why do they always get that way with Numenera? What? How did Monty fuck you up?
I read the system and I went, yeah, fuck no.
Yeah, I just didn't like the system. I love the setting for Numenora. I think the setting's amazing. You know, it's like so many million years in the future. Hell, the Earth may have actually been destroyed and reassembled.
Yeah.
Like no one knows, you know, and it's really weird. There's like that giant circular area and a whole city built in like maybe what used to be old sewer pipes. But the system, I'm just not a huge fan of. That's all. I mean, there was a time when Monty Cook was the man back in the 90s, man.
In
Early
06,
2000s.
In 2006, when he released Tolus, I thought he could do no wrong. And then he released the Arcana Unearthed, which was like an advanced player's handbook for people that want to play D20 games. And that was kind of interesting, had some really good ideas. The world came out, and it was interesting, but you needed to smoke some sort of mind expansion drug before you could get really into it. And the rest of your party, the rest of your group had to be on the same dope as you.
O'Neill Flynn is right. Bloody Appalachia is basically a BX hack. The basic system is indeed roll D20s, but there's so much more going on that it doesn't play like D&D, you know. And you end up taking a wrong turn down a holler in Eastern Kentucky somewhere, and then it becomes a countdown to see which character will survive the adventure or not. Because it's basically the role-playing game version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but set in Eastern Kentucky. And the cover's got this dude with a chainsaw, and he's wearing like a pig head for a helmet.
I'm looking at it right now. It looks great.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And it has like basically every monster from Appalachian myth that you've ever heard of is in it. You know, like Kentucky goblins and feral people and dogmen, all that shit. They're all in there, werewolves and vampires. And, you know, like if you wanted to play like a team of FBI agents that was going into Eastern Kentucky to like find out what the hell's going on, that could be a whole campaign.
Hey, all.
Hey,
Good
how you
campaign.
doing?
Hey, what's up, Flamingo?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Flaminio?
Yeah, I mean, I had to buy it just because it's set basically very near to where I was born and grew up. So,
Which is really weird because lately I've been watching a lot of Hellbent Holler videos, which they're kind of interesting. They kind of go out in the woods and fuck around, and they have spooky stuff happen to them in the distance, but they haven't really seen anything close by yet, which is most Bigfoot discovery shows. But they're consistent, and they're both genuinely selling what they're scared shitless of. So I like watching their videos.
I think I saw one where they were looking for dogmen.
Yep.
And they found some nests that they thought could be dogmen nests, and some deer carcasses had been gnawed on. But, it could have been coyotes too. I mean, those hills are full of coyotes.
Wouldn't nests be more bird?
So, USPS is so shit right now. Yeah. I usually send stuff UPS. And even so, sometimes, like I sent something to Holy Diver and it went to his house. And because the item was a pretty pricey item, I had paid extra, so he had to sign for it. Well, the dude's an over-the-road trucker. So after they tried to deliver it the third time, they just sent it back to Florida, but didn't tell me. So I'm checking it out, and it says it's in Orlando. So I call, and I'm like, do you got my package there? And they're like, yeah, it's been here about a week. And I'm like, were you going to tell me? I mean... So then I sent it again, but without the signed for thing, and they left it as door, and he got it. He had his mom pick it up or something. I don't know why he did, but it was just a bunch of Macedonians because, my boy likes to play his mini games. So I had them. I wasn't going to use them. I sent them to him. Yeah, UPS is pretty good. Pretty good. I've had a couple of issues where I've sent stuff and they've ended up like who knows where, but like when I ordered all that stuff from Russia and it sat in Chicago for like 2 months. And I was like, how did it even get to Chicago? That doesn't make any sense. Is O'Hare? I don't know.
You think it would come into New York?
That's what I'm thinking, it'd come into LaGuardia and then freaking ship down 95, but
Well, cargo probably more likely Newark.
yeah, maybe. I mean, Atlanta's a hub.
Nothing is nothing. You guys got you got nothing on Canada. We have this stupid system. The West Coast, Vancouver, so British Columbia, the other side of the Rockies. They have no Canada Post Distribution Center. So all mail sent from or to Vancouver, to is easy. It goes to Calgary, then it goes to Vancouver. But if it's leaving Vancouver, it has to go to Calgary to get sorted, then sent back to Vancouver to be mailed out. It's the stupidest fucking thing. Right?
Yep.
You know what I've always wondered? Why is it postal employees that go on the berserk killing sprees? Why not the DMV? That would
Because
be
the
my
postal
first
employees have to be nice. The DMV is allowed to be shitty.
Yeah, they can take their aggressions out on you and be little mini tyrants, and there's nothing you can do about it. But the post guys, they're not allowed to be like that.
Yeah.
So,
Although I haven't heard about one in a couple of years, but there was a period there where it seemed like constantly
The
like
90s.
some postal worker was going crazy. I remember the first time somebody said to me, "Calm down, man, don't go all postal," and I immediately knew exactly what he meant. It was the first time I had ever heard the expression.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
yeah, it was, and honestly, it happened like under 10 times. It was actually an incredibly rare thing, but it become part of the zeitgeist of the 90s. It was even
It hasn't happened in a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Bold did a movie called Postal, which was supposed to be the video game, but just turned out to be, bullshit.
Well, I was thinking more about Demon Knight.
Oh, I love that movie.
When they go to the postman's room or whatever,
Yeah.
like hand grenades and shit. And it turned out he was still in everybody's mouth.
Yeah, and he had explosives.
Yeah.
Fuck this cowboy shit, you fucking hold down, podunk. Well, then there, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Humans, you're not worth the skin you printed on.
Not worth the skin you're printed on. That is one of the best lines in cinema history, I swear to God.
Yeah. That was a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
everyone in it was good. You
And it's
know?
got this amazing soundtrack. People don't realize how good the soundtrack on
Oh,
that
it
is.
starts off with the Filter song and the
Yeah,
two guys
fucking hey,
racing down the
nice
highway.
shot. Yeah, but
Yeah,
the guy
nice
shot himself
shot.
on TV.
Yeah. I always like that song. I mean, the new song that I'm addicted to is I Like the Way You Kiss Me, which came out like a week ago
And
by
who is this
Artemis.
by?
Huh?
Who's it by?
Artemis.
I don't know who that is.
He's brand new, and it's kind of like a weird goth synth pop song,
Okay.
and I dig it. My wife hates it, but I caught her singing it the other day, so you know how
I gotta
is.
fly, James, and rest of you guys. You guys have a great night.
Hey,
D&D.
Double Peter,
Letter D.
God bless.
thank you so much for just showing up and saying hi, man.
Yep, I'll try to do more of that. Like I said, I've been crazy busy over the last couple months, but
Dude, it's only going to get worse. I mean, the holidays are coming.
oh yeah, I'll find time for you. I always do, James.
Love you too, bro.
Take care, bro.
But yeah, the holidays are coming, guys. That's when it gets crazy. Thanksgiving is like a week away. Or
Not in
2
Canada.
Not in Canada, but I
Well,
mean,
you guys just had it, didn't you?
Well,
And then it
we have
happened.
our Thanksgiving at the normal proper time at harvest, which is because it's a harvest fucking festival.
We don't abide by rules down here. We just kind of do what we want.
Have you ever heard of daylight savings time there, Bear?
Oh,
We have
God,
it here.
Okay.
I hate it with a hot.
It-
We want to get rid of it too, man. The problem is all the idiots here are like the idiots where you are. They want to use the summertime version, not the wintertime version. But the wintertime version allows us to sync our clocks with a whole bunch of South American countries and shit like that. You know what I mean? But no, fuck that. More sunlight, please. You know, like idiots.
Tom McDonald, the one and only rapper I've ever liked, from I believe Toronto originally.
Tom McDonald.
Yep.
We can thank Kaiser Wilhelm for daylight savings time.
And then he moved
to save
to
Will.
America and started singing a bunch of super pro-patriotic rap music.
He looks like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, apparently he used to be like a really bad alcoholic and drug addict and everything and homeless. And
Yeah, his face is covered in tattoos. He can go fuck himself. I have no interest.
yeah. But he's got super patriotic, and hell, Donald Trump called him out at a freaking event. Because, like, the day after the assassination attempt, Tom McDonald did a song called Bitch You Missed. It's like, you know, thank
Oh, is
God
this the guy who was like testifying before Congress in the three-piece suit with all the crazy like gang shit on his face?
Yeah, he's got like neck tats and like I don't get any of that. It's like I don't know what somebody said something like modern day rappers look like freaking inmates or something from the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. They look like they fell asleep at a frat party that had way too many Sharpies around.
Right. There's no way I would ever get anything tattooed anywhere anyone could see. Because if I put a suit on, I want to look respectable. When I go in, like when I went in to try to get the job to be a firefighter, I wore my best suit. You know, I walked in and had my suit lined up, and when they told me to sit down, I unbuttoned my coat and took it off, and you know, and sat down, and I had my nice white with my tie, and so you know, I look like a respectable guy, you know.
But this is just a byproduct of the adolescentization of the man, right? So
Right.
Western culture has been adolescentizing men ever since the 60s. Don't grow up, don't be a man. My father wore a suit every day of his life to work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If he was wearing a T-shirt, I would want to get out of the house because it meant yard work was on the agenda for the day. You know, he's wearing a T-shirt, run, you know? Now you see fucking 40-year-old men dressed like 13-year-old skater punks playing video games all day. And you wonder why the quality of women have gone downhill? Well, look at the quality of fucking men they get to pick from.
Well, that one dude that I sometimes catch his stuff on YouTube, he put out a meme and is like, the modern man has to work 10 times as hard to get a woman 20 times worse than their grandma.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called hoflation.
But the wholeflation came alongside this bullshit criminal fascination with gangster rap that turns out was a CIA fucking plot. Who knew, you know?
You know what? It makes sense though, because it hit and then it dominated.
Mm-hmm.
It was like out of nowhere. It was just on every record station and
You know
radio
why?
station. And MTV basically just turned into rap TV for like.
Set your brain back to the 80s. And remember, from about 80 to 85, everyone was listening to everything.
Yeah.
Everyone. You turn on MTV and you'd see fucking Rat and then Michael Jackson and then like Tony Basil. Like, it was insane, these mixes.
Yeah.
And then rap hit. And slowly it became dominant. And really dominant. And then 90s kids really got the fuck into rap. And like, I remember I was reading an article, 50 Cent said the weirdest thing he ever did in his life was play a show in Connecticut, 50,000 white kids in the crowd, and he holds out the microphone for the N-word, and he got to listen to 50,000 white kids suddenly stumble over that word, right? They're like, yeah, because, you know, there's like he said, there wasn't a fucking black person in the audience.
I mean, he's up in Cheshire, Connecticut or somewhere.
Yeah.
Freaking, you know, I've always hated rap. I like rap that actually sings about things that matter. I don't like rap where all they talk about is hoes and spinning rims.
Bitches and hoes and spinners and guns. Disposable heroes of hypocrisy are amazing.
Because, you know, it was like for about a decade there, all rap music was adverts for like Gucci, Bentleys, different kinds of champagnes, what is it? Grey Goose vodka. It was like there was like 10 items that would be mentioned in
Cristal. Do you remember Cristal was the shitty fucking practically rail champagne at the bar?
Yeah.
And then suddenly it became the shit. And it's like, no, this is garbage fucking champagne. You know, like this isn't fucking, what are you talking about, Cristal? You know?
Grey Goose was the same thing. That was one of the cheapest vodkas on the market. They were going out of business. They got, let's make the bottle nice and jack up the price 10 times. And all of a sudden, it went through the roof.
My favorite vodka is from Estonia, comrade.
My favorite vodka is Moskoya.
It's made in Estonia.
Which one's yours?
Stoli.
Yeah, Stoli's nice. My friend Tina, she's from Finland. Tiny Tina. She's the smallest, craziest Viking you ever met, but man, she can throw an axe. And she was telling me that when she was growing up in Finland, there was a huge industry where they would take these cruises and they would go down the Baltic to Estonia and they would buy vodka by like the cases for cheap. And then by the time they got to past the international waters and they were about to enter Finnish waters, they had to throw it all overboard because they weren't allowed to import it into Finland, right? So she estimates there was like probably 2 of these ships going a day for like 20 fucking years. So how many fucking bottles of fucking Stoli are at the bottom of the Baltic Sea? Think about that.
Might be worth taking a dive one day. I don't know how deep it is, but you know.
It's the Baltic. It's pretty fucking deep.
It might be worth it. I agree with you, Six Nations. I call socks foot prisons. I hate wearing socks and shoes these days. And when I was a little kid, I never wore shoes. My mom was always fussing with me about wearing shoes. I never did. I would be wearing, you know, whatever, barefoot, just running down through the field, you know, the cow pastures and whatever. I mean, did I F myself up? Yeah, but I didn't tell anybody. Just kind of walked it off, you know what I mean? Rubbed some dirt on it and kept going because that's just how it was, man.
I'm always wearing socks unless I'm sleeping or in the shower. I hate stuff touching my feet.
I hate socks.
I wear slippers. I had to get into it once I was diabetic. I had to get slippers, and now I'm like addicted to them. And the slippers I have are so fucking comfortable. Sometimes my friend will come, like, we'll go grocery shopping, and I'll be in his car and realize I gotta get my shoes. Hang on, because I've gone all the way to the car in my slippers, happy as can be. You know.
Hey, I don't think anybody would say anything if you went to a grocery store in them.
No, not today. Down here, you'd be normal, Bear.
That's the sad part.
You'd be a people of Walmart, except in Canada.
I'd be at Costco, so who knows?
Yeah, people of Costco and his bear walking around in his slippers.
You know the
And
Costco
that's why I need to get a house coat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just be like walking around.
When I
House
go to
cross.
Costco here, they got to log me in. I got to scan my phone first on their app. And so it's harder for me to go into Costco than it is to like go vote.
Why?
No, I'm just saying you have to log in to Costco to walk in their store. You
Yeah,
can't
we go
walk in.
to.
Not
What's
here,
the
man.
other
I
one
just
that's
do
like
this. I
Costco,
just
but
go
not?
this as I'm walking in the door, and they go, all right, see you soon.
Nope. Open your phone. You
We
show
don't
your
have to
phone.
do that here. I'm telling you.
Okay.
My phone never becomes a part of my
10 p.m.
solution
at
unless I'm trying to
Walmart.
move money from one account to another, man. Like I'm telling you, we don't do that. That's an American thing, or maybe that's a Texas thing.
It's not a Florida thing because we don't go to Costco. We go to the Sam's, but you just show them the Sam's card, and they're just like,
Yeah.
you know, because when you go to check out, you got to hand the cashier the Sam's card again.
I gotta scan it.
So
Yeah.
it's like when they scan it. So yeah, 10 p.m. at a Walmart. 10 p.m. at a Walmart in Florida, you can see the rednecks out fist fighting. And if you hang out long enough, the cops and the fire department will show up eventually.
Did you see the SNL sketch from last season? I saw it this week for the first time. They killed me. It's basically they're doing a CW romantic movie thing where it's the guy and the girl breaking up, but they're in front of a Waffle House. And the background is all the shit going on in the Waffle House.
Everything that could go on in a Waffle House goes on in this
fucking hilarious. Like at one point, the guy like hits the big black cook in the back of the head with a cast iron skillet. The guy just like, mistake. Yep. As he gets picked up and body slammed. Like, fuck, man. It's
It's like
amazing.
the Waffle House, the only restaurant where the cook is wearing Class 3 armor plated. You know, he's got his vest on with Class 3 plates in it. You know, it's like, yeah.
It would be diabetic.
If
I
you
guarantee
can't
you I've never
survive,
tried Dave's pecan butter melts because that would probably kill me.
if you can't survive getting breakfast at Waffle House in 3 a.m, you don't deserve to live.
You don't deserve breakfast.
Yeah, you don't deserve that bacon. I mean, you got to walk in there and be like, because that's Waffle House does kick off. I mean, there's a reason for that stereotype. But down here, the big thing is country boys duking it out in Walmart parking lots. It's like the weirdest shit. Like it'll be 1 a.m. and the Walmart parking lot, there'll be like one section in the corner of the parking lot with like 20 jacked up trucks and just people hanging around them, like young people. And eventually, you know what's going to happen because you got a bunch of cowboys or wannabe cowboys. Either way, you got all these freaking guys out there, and eventually somebody's going to say something, and there's going to be somebody jacked in the jaw, and then, you know, yeah. It's like clockwork every Friday night. The Walmart's going to have a bunch of... I've never understood the jacked up truck thing, but some of these guys down here, they like it. But me, I'd be like, man, I'm too old to climb up in this thing. Like, I need a rope ladder or something.
Oh, the thing I hate is the front lean with the front.
Bulldog, I think they outlawed that.
Yeah, there's still plenty of them around here. I just want to just like gun people down when I see that. I hate it
because
so
you
much.
can't see shit in front of you because your truck's bulldogged up like
Yeah,
that.
some of them are ridiculous. Some are like freaking like that.
That's what I said. It's class, not race. People mistake that.
Mm-hmm.
The homies will spend all their money on their Cutlass, and the trailer park guys are going to spend all their money on their trucks.
No.
It's the same culture, just photo negative, I guess.
The sad part is, you know, where I grew up, James, you know, I'm the Northern Appalachians, essentially. I've said it to many of my city friends. They're like, oh my God, people live in trailer parks. That's so weird. I'm like, I could fucking blend in a minute. Like, in a fucking minute, I could live in it. And some of these trailers are nice. I'm like, I could fucking handle that shit. I'd be quite happy to live over there, man.
I lived in a trailer park, and it wasn't nice.
Well, you guys have crazy trailer parks, though.
Yeah, I lived in a trailer park for a while.
Florida is like a whole other level of everything's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yep. When I was going through my second divorce, I was living in a trailer park. My Puerto Rican buddy and Hungar was living there, and it was actually kind of awesome because we played D&D like 5 nights a week. You know what I mean? It's like we'd all get home from work and be like, "Well, what do you want to do?" Yeah, well, we're too broke to do anything. Play some D&D or something. Shadowrun actually was the big thing back then, and then we all ended up moving to the Black and Whites, which is like the actual ghetto. And let me tell you, what much different. You know, it was like we went from the poor Mexicans and white people trailer park to the everyone's black but us ghetto, and no difference at all. It was the same shit, different day. But now they make really good trailers. They call them
Manufactured homes.
yeah, like they actually frame them out, and you can get them like with all the good stuff, and they'll ship them and then like assemble them on the spot. You know,
A couple of months ago, I saw somebody a truck accidentally dump one into
yeah.
a drainage ditch.
Well,
down
that's
in
$100
Hastings.
grand.
Yeah, they screwed that whole thing. You couldn't get. You had to go like 10 miles out of your way to get to my brother's house because the whole thing was blocked off because of that. It was like completely on its side, like the roof pointing down into the ditch. It's like, oh man, somebody's gonna be very unhappy.
Off-grid gaming. I have a niece that lives in Montana, and let me tell you, they absolutely despise Californians.
Who
Because
does?
people from California are buying up all the land in Montana and pricing the Montanans out of their own state. And so the Montanans are just like she was posting shit on Facebook like, "Dear Californians, get the F out of Montana," and shit like this. I mean, I was like, damn. See, Florida, we're welcoming. We just got flags that say, "Welcome to Florida. Leave your own home state behind." Or remember why you left where you left. You know what I mean? Because and Florida, it's like we get all these people from New York and all the northern cities move to Florida, and Florida just gets redder and redder every election. Because the New Yorkers move down here, drink the water, and they're like, "Yep, this is the shit. I got a gun now. I'm wearing a cowboy hat. I got a truck. I'm going hog hunting with my new friends, and I'm voting red." You know, and these are guys from like freaking Maine, freaking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, we've been lucky in Florida because we're mostly getting like the refugees from the country parts of like New York and stuff. Like Arizona and Texas are getting hammered by hardcore California blue dogs.
Well, it's kind of funny because
Maricopa County can't hold up them elections on their own.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny because people that move to Austin, you know how they're going to vote. If they move to Austin, Texas, you know they're going to be just ridiculously blue in their voting habits. But if they come to San Antonio, like it's a real toss up. Like if they move to the downtown area and get some shitty 600 square foot apartment, they're going to vote blue. But if they move out into one of the little burbs outside the loop, there's a 70% chance that they're going to be found at Bass Pro Shop or Academy getting themselves armed up, buying brass, and they're going to put a fucking Trump sticker on their Prius. And
that's what we get down here.
You see that more and more.
Well, the good thing about them all going to Austin is that if it gets really bad, you can always just raise the city.
Yeah.
If all we have to do is just put a wall around it, we can test if it holds water.
Spoiler alert, it cannot.
So,
and then
that's just what we do in Florida. We say, "Welcome to Florida. Don't turn us into New York. We don't want that. We're happy being Florida." You know, and they even changed the signs from "Welcome to Florida" to "Welcome to the free state of Florida" when you cross the border. It's like, Florida does what it wants, man. It just don't even care. They just don't even care at all. The whole rest of the country's on lockdown, wearing 8 masks. Florida, we're running around barefoot, throwing alligators at each other. You know, everyone.
You guys are going to a Publix or a Buc-ee's in Daytona Beach with no mask on, chanclas, cargo shorts, Hawaiian print T-shirt, and that's Florida.
Yep. Is like we tried the 6-foot bullshit and the whatever for just a second, and then it was like, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, you and
We're not
Sweden.
doing that.
What strange coincidence? It's like you and Sweden were the only two places where like, fuck all of this. If people die, they die, and let's go.
Kind of like what's his name in what was it, Rocky 3?
If he dies, he dies.
Rocky
Yeah.
Four.
Right?
Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago.
Yeah,
I must break you.
I must break you.
I took a full hammer fist to the eye from that guy. We were
Oh
working
my
on
God.
We were working on a film together, and in the scene, I had to, at one point in the fight, I have to pick him up and swing him around, and then put him into a wall. And every fucking time I picked him up, he went dead weight on me. He didn't kick off. So I'm fucking hoisting 250 pounds of fucking Swede or whatever the fuck he's Dane or whatever. So about the 6th fucking take, when I put him to the wall, I put some shoulder into his gut, you know? And his next move in the fight is to hammer fist me in the eye. Well, after I put my shoulder in his gut, he fucking like full tilt hammer fisted me in the eye. Like, all right, cool. Fun part was you had to take him for some other shooting, so second unit came in for the rest of the day, and we had to redo the fight. And my buddy John Walsh was his stunt double. John was probably in his late 50s at the time. And the first time I went to pick him up, I was so muscle memory on that Dolph going dead weight on me, I German fucking suplexed John because he kicked off, and I just fucking threw him right over my head. He was like, "Jesus Christ, you're trying to fucking kill me!" I'm like, "Oh, sorry, my bad."
Escape from Austin.
Yeah. Fill the fucking wall around
If
Austin.
you're seeing sanctuary in the home of others because of wrong manifesting in your own, it should go without saying that you feel obligated to become one of them.
Huh?
Yeah, he's just saying that like if you're having to go somewhere else because of your own shitty voting history, you don't get to keep your same identity for voting. You have to adopt where you go.
Awesome. Please let all the new Canadians know that.
Dude, I saw a picture of the Canadian subway and I didn't see a single Canadian on it.
Well, they're all Canadians.
Okay, you know what I mean. I didn't
know
see
what you
any
mean.
bears. I saw nothing but turbans, as far as I could see on that.
Well, that's because we have the largest Sikh population in the world outside of India.
I was like, geez,
I
that's
have to say, I have yet to meet a Sikh I did not like.
Well, yeah, Sikhs are good people, man.
I love them.
yeah, Sikh are nice.
They're great.
It was just, I don't know, kind of a shock to see, you know, because
They didn't let them in the army for the longest time over the hair thing, but they relaxed on that a couple of years ago.
Well, they actually designed a helmet that looks
Yeah, for
like
them.
their it fits over their frickin' their turban or whatever.
So they got like Lord Dark Helmet charging you.
The only Sikh I ever seen when I was in the army was a doctor. So he was like a captain because he was actually an MD, you know. But the head of our military, like our battalion sick bay thing was like a warrant 3. You know, I guess he was like a PA or something, so they just made him a warrant officer. Because I think if you're a doctor, you automatically get to be a captain, but you probably never will get promoted. So,
Well, it depends how long you stay in. I met a couple of major and lieutenant colonel doctors at Walter Reed.
leave the attitude at the border. I don't think I've met a single Canadian in Florida. I think if they were to come down here, the first summer would kill them.
Oh, they come back up for summer in Canada. They only go down there for winter, the snowbirds.
Oh, neat. Yeah, I think when it hit about 110, the Canadians would just all die. You know, just curl up like spiders. You know, it's like it gets like 70 degrees, and the Canadians are bitching about how hot it is. Hey, GM Cody, how you doing, bro? Here you're gonna run some Dragonbane. That sounds awesome. That'll be good. They come down for the winter. I've never noticed them, but then again, as Bear can attest to, I don't ask people their personal business. If you want me to know shit about you, now I'll tell you everything about me, but I don't ask you shit. You got to tell me because I don't know why. I'm just not nosy. I don't care.
Hopefully, Crafting Gamer, I will get my not safe for work beholder sometime this week.
What's it got? Like a bunch of penises on its head?
No, it's kind of like a busty female with a kind of a big set of lips as a central eye, and then she's got a bunch of eye stalks sprouting off her back. She's laying back and has two huge chesticles. I'll send you the link. It looks like something like there's the female not safe for work version, and then there's another version that just absolutely scares me on a cellular level.
Is it James and his wife doing this?
No,
because I know they have an STL store and they always sell big booby like adventurers, like pinup girls and shit. But and Bear, the penis-headed beholder, that's not beyond the realm of possibility if you're playing Lamentations of the Flame Princess, where you can indeed summon an orb made of penises.
Ask me the more important question. Bear, would you ever play Lamentations of the Flame Princess?
I'm going to sure guess no.
Number one with a bullet.
I want to know if Bear does. Will Bear be shirtless, trying to channel Raggy?
Right.
No, because I'm not a fucking moron.
I could, but you would never tell because of my nice sweater that God gave me.
I guess he moved to Finland. He loves it there, so good for him.
We got a bot from Twitch over here, by the way.
I saw it, but you know, if it's gonna say it one time, I don't give a shit. Twitch bots. Every viewer on Twitch is cheap. And usually freaking retarded.
Retarded.
Yeah. Like that English guy the other day trying to argue that.
Was he actually English? Because his English
spelling was atrocious.
Well, he might, who knows? He could be from Albania living in England.
Or he could have been just a fucking 15-year-old fucking around, right?
Right. I mean,
not clicking on your links, Bruce. Stop your nonsense. I've learned not to click on your links. Thank you. You've burned that bridge with me, sir.
This is something I got from the Crafting Gamer, and I have to say thank you. But don't go to the strange one, okay? No, don't do it.
I'm not looking at him. I'll look at him later.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Got a letter from an HOA about inappropriate display of snowmen. Was reconstructing Calvin and Hobbes' Xmas display back. Oh yeah, the one where the one snowman's dead and the other snowmen are all standing around pointing and like they're freaking out. It looks like the car ran the one over. That was one of them. He did one where there's like a snowman axe murderer.
I believe he called them snow goons, not snowmen.
Yeah. Calvin
Did
and Hobbes,
anyone see that Calvin and Hobbes live action trailer somebody made?
No.
Where he's going all like Son of Sam with the tiger, stuffed tiger.
Did you never see the actual movie they made about when Calvin grew up.
Oh, did they actually make a
Yeah,
movie?
it's called Fight Club. Think about it. They never say his name, and instead of
Tyler-
the tiger, it's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, it's Tyler Durden though.
Yeah, Tyler Durden.
Not
Hobbes, which is Old English name for the devil.
well, no, but Calvin and Hobbes is about Calvinism versus Hobbesianism. Look at the philosophical debates they have in
Is
that
it
thing,
really?
right?
I
Calvin
never.
is always questioning everything and always trying to sort of figure out what the possibilities of everything are, and Hobbes is always going, "Shit happens. Let's see." It's Hobbes' philosophy and Calvinism and just debating each other. It's really kind of cool.
That's a lot wittier than I even thought it was, and I love Calvin and Hobbes.
I was shocked the day I realized. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, HOAs suck. It's like the worst.
I'm playing a Duck Knight in Cody's Dragonbane game.
Nice.
It's going to be quite nice to be the very one of purity and uprightness in this group.
Are you going to be a paladin?
He's a knight, sir.
Ah.
Sir Drake Mallardly. Thank you.
Awesome.
You, sir, are a rapscallion. A poltroon.
Well, I told you half of the One Ring group are halflings, so.
HOAs are incremental socialism. Do
Yeah.
not let them in.
Yep. It's like, yeah, half the group are hobbits. So, okay.
What, in HOAs?
This is some fucked
No,
up
in the One Ring,
HOAs.
I made we made all the characters for the One Ring, and like half of the players chose to be hobbits.
I actually kind of picture the Shire as having a lot of homeowners associations. Just something about it.
No, I don't think they would. I mean, Bilbo owns the biggest, best house in the Shire. Bag End, which is why his cousin or whatever was always trying to get it from him. But in the end, he gave it to Sam and Rosie when he
The
left.
Sackville Bagginses?
Yeah, Esmeralda or whatever her name was. She's always coming around, sticking her nose into, just being a pain in the ass.
So she ends up a hero in the end. Because when push came to shove, she was the one that stood up to Sharky.
In the end, that was Peregrine Took. So Pippin led the halfling. They called it the scouring of the Shire. And then Pippin Took become the Thane of all the Shire. And Frodo left and gave his house to Samwise, and Sam married Rosie, and they had like 15 kids. And somebody explained to R.R. Martin that you don't have to go into detail about how they did it.
But look at the actress we got for Rosie, and you are inspired to have kids that day.
You must serve Morgoth or Sauron. Who do you choose and why? If I must serve one of the two, probably Morgoth. Sauron was Morgoth's bitch. So if I must choose one of them, I'm going to go with the big one.
You know that bit when Bilbo says he's a Baggins, not some block-headed brace girdle, right?
Yeah.
Well, Lotholia or whatever, Lobelia, Sackville Baggins, is a brace girdle who married into the family.
Yeah, the halflings were a bunch of assholes, really, when you get down to it.
Yeah.
They were always gossiping about each other and telling tales.
They were hideous snobs.
Yeah, and apparently Frodo, was it Frodo or Bilbo's parents that died?
Frodo's parents died, yeah.
Yeah, and some people say what happened was the Baggins was trying to push his wife Belladonna into the pond, and she grabbed him, pulled him in with her, and they both drowned. So, they were kind of your atypical village, dwelling Englishmen that were constantly gossiping and carrying on and trying to be, you know, keep up with the Jones and all that kind of shit. I go with Sauron because he was less chaotic. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go with either if I had a choice. I would like to know more about the Witch King of Angmar, though, like his history and everything like that. That would be cool. I wonder if I just rolled into Angmar under a flag of truce and asked to speak to him. And like, say I was in that world, right? And when I met him, I said, I just want to tell your story. You know, I've got this big blank book and all this ink and quills. You know, I'm just here to write down your story if you would tell it to me. If he would murder me on the spot or tell the story.
Tell the story, get you right down, then kill you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's the other option for sure. Karen Saxville and Carpet Baggins.
Also,
Yeah.
Morgoth had full dominion over the land for a long time, whereas Sauron was always kind of fighting for it, never quite got there.
Right.
Sauron is a failed Morgoth, let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, eventually Morgoth effed around enough that, you know.
He got away with it a bunch of times. He got forgiven, like, what, 2 or 3 times? They let him off?
The Witch King of Angmar, I don't know. He probably may have been a black Númenorian.
So there's a really great
that served Sauron.
I can't find it anymore, but there was a really great article where they took the MERP stuff and they wrote up all the ring wraiths and who they were, and one of them was even a woman, was a queen of someplace in the south and stuff like that. And it was a great article from the MERP games.
Yeah, I had that book. That was good. So yeah, they gave full backgrounds to all of them.
MERPs makes me angry about copyright because I think once you've created a book, you should be able to sell that book forever, regardless of if you lose intellectual property. You still created that book. So how can you not own that book and not legally sell the book you own? You know what I mean? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Well, you got to allow for people to yank a license if it's being abused.
Smeagol's still in propane. Yeah, and freaking Smeagol, his big deal was to use the ring to turn invisible so he could steal people's eggs and shit. And eventually they just ran him out. I mean, it's like he wasn't even good at being a bad guy. You know, he's just stealing eggs and stuff. It's like, wow, you killed your best friend so that you could steal eggs. Fucking idiot. Ar-Pharazôn, the last king of Númenor, that would be cool. But I'm pretty our Ar-Pharazôn.
Well, I think one of the few things they said,
trying to invade the Western lands.
I think it's mentioned somewhere the Witch King was actually the only one who wasn't an actual king during his life.
Yeah, he was a sorcerer or something.
Yeah, the others were all rulers somewhere. He never was, although he was the top shit among them. He only named 2 or 3 of them.
Ooh, I found it.
Uh-oh.
I found it.
Hey, Shark. Semper Fi. Happy Veterans Day, bro.
Happy Veterans Day, Shark.
There you go. So let's see. Murazor, Tamhul, Dwar, G-Indur,
Ren the Unclean,
Hormarath,
Good, Radit.
Adunafel, Ren, Yuvatha. These are the 9
ring rates, huh? Yeah, because the rings made them powerful, but they eventually just faded away in the shadows. And
hey, Shark.
And that was kind of their thing.
I need coffee if we're going to continue this chat, boys. I'll be right back.
Well, we're not. It's about 2 hours, and
See, now you're making me have to go start a stream.
I'm getting ready to go to bed. You, however, can start a stream and take
7:15. You're going to bed?
I might. I'm tired, man. You know what time I got up today? Like 7 o'clock.
Oh my God, 12 hours. That's a hell of a day. I would go to bed immediately too.
I know, but I sleep a lot, man. The older I get, the more I
Fucking
sleep.
with you, man. I'm just fucking with you.
James,
Yes, sir.
it's understandable. I'm feeling it too, but I woke up at like 1 o'clock this morning, so my expiration of this day is coming to a close as well. I
Yeah.
get it.
I'll go and lay down and play Subnautica until I fall asleep, and then my wife will come in and put the computer on the side table. Because I've got coolers with all the fans on it, and I just set it on my chest.
Have you beat that game yet?
Subnautica, I beat the second one, not the first one. And right now, I ain't even trying to beat the story. I'm just running around building giant ass like ocean bases all over the place. Freaking, I'm getting ready to build my prawn suit as soon as I get some of those purple gels. And I've already got like the weapons on the prawn suit. So at that point, I'm going to start hunting freaking reapers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm playing through the original again. But I beat the one where you actually have the alien inside of you, and then you actually launch off and go to the alien's world or something.
I've not played that one yet.
That's Subnautica 2, where it's frozen. Return to Moria, the video game. I think Hungar actually plays that. And yeah, you're a dwarf in Moria fighting orcs, and you can build like a little hideout and decorate it.
Born a dwarf.
He likes to yeah, PewDiePie. I think PewDiePie got me into Subnautica too. Now, Minecraft I got into when it was free. And there was only like one tree, one kind of dirt, one kind of stone. And the only monsters were the zombie skeletons and creepers. There were no dogs or cats or any shit like that. It was the beta. And I had an account directly with the company that used to own it. But then when it got sold, I had to flip over to the Microsoft bullshit. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna take off. Salutations. I hope you all have a wonderful week. If I don't see you again, I'm probably just doing something.
Don't worry,
everybody.
Take care. I'm gonna go live in about 12 minutes. I'm gonna go make coffee and go live.
Nice.
So anyone wants to come on over, that's where I'll be.
All right.
You guys have a good night.
Later.
And everyone in chat, thanks for joining.
God bless you all.
Bye, y'all.